first of all, I would like to call your attention to this sentence that becoming conscious starts with self-observation. So becoming conscious starts with self-observation. This sentence will have more meaning or importance later on. So this is me. I'm a Greek of Hungary. My mother tongue is Hungarian. I speak Greek and English and understand Spanish, French. I am a mother of a 12-year-old son. He's fantastic. Every day he teaches me how to respect our inner self. He always shows me to respect his boundaries. So he's a great master of it. I'm a life coach, a theta healing instructor and practitioner. I have some other degrees, as you can read it on this slide. A couple of years ago, I encountered this modality, which is called theta healing, and I knew it immediately that this is something I not only want to learn in depth, but I want to teach it. Supporting, helping others, communication was always part of my life. And everybody is gifted with something. And I really like to show new ways to others who are open, how to connect to the inner light, what we have in ourselves, because that is our real strength. That is a power which we can rely on, but we have forgotten about it. On this slide, I have collected some point of views among many, which are out there. The concept of truth is discussed and has been discussed through the centuries and debated in various contexts. You can name it, the context. It could be philosophy, art, theology, science, and even when you go home, you just have disputes about who is right or who isn't. Buddhists talk about the Maya, which is a net of illusions which is around us, and they say that we see with our physical eyes, that is not the truth. Truth is out there somewhere. Plato, one of the Greeks of ancient times, believed that the world, what we see around, is practically a kind of copy of the absolute reality, which is again somewhere out there. Aristotle was a bit more sophisticated, saying that what is, that is. I interpret this that what you consider to be existing, that is for you something which is real. And what is not, what you cannot have a hand on, you don't understand, you don't see yet, that does not exist for you. Jesus Christ simply expressed, I am the way, the truth, and the life. But according to my understanding, referring to the inner light, which allowed him, if we take the scripts as true, to be born in a human form. And the inner light is the way, the truth, and life, what he was conveying as a message for those of that time. If we approach truth from science, then we can see that science always wants to prove or validate the existence of something and put it into a coherent system and see how something belongs to that system, how it serves it, if there is mutual inferential support among these elements within the system or there isn't. So that's a way when we more use our cognitive functions, our observations on the materia, what is around mainly. We can say that the view of the world is a mixture of perceptions. What does it mean? Truth is usually held to be the opposite of falsehood. But what is falsehood? If we have around us only white as a color and nothing else but white, then we don't know what white is until we encounter the so-called opposite of it, which is black. Today we say we define black as dark color and white as the light color. That's a definition given and accepted by all. So if I don't know what black is, then I don't know what white is. But in the reflection, one in the reflection of the other will become visible. And so truth and falsehood this way become relative to each other, because one defines the other, or the other defines the one. So that's why that leads to the next sentence, that truth is also relative to focus. And focus always shifts with each moment. If I take this example, if I focus on white, okay, that's my truth, that white is not black. But if I put my focus on the black, then I know that white is not black, or black is not white. But both of them on their own merit are true. White is white, as Aristotle said, and black is black. And also, if I bring another example, when we are listening to a friend coming to us and telling a story, what happened to this friend, with regard to another friend of ours, whatever we hear, and if it sounds logical, we will think that this person has right. But when we go to the other person and we listen to this very same story from the other person's point of view, we could change with regard to our previous observation and say that, nah, this person is right. So who is right? When we shifted the focus, in this case, from one person's story to the other person's story, and we just keep ourselves in the observator's position, we could say that both of them, from their point of view, they have right. They have their own truth. So the mixture of truth and falsehood will shift for each person also, and over time within the person itself can change. If today I observe something and based on today's information, what I have, I say that this thing is true and I accept it as truth, that's okay. But with time, when I learn more things and facts, so-called facts about that given subject, maybe after 2 hours or a week or 10 years, I will realize that previously, my first observation on that given issue was falsehood, based on those information what I received, learned, encountered during my way, my path, my life. So with time, the truth can shift, and I will have a new perception on what is true for me. We can talk about personal truth and universal truth. Inner truth is what is true for you as a person, and it reflects your life story, who you are, who you have become since consumption, let's say so. Outer truth is what is beyond our stories. And the next slide will explain more about inner truth from my point of view. And here, I would like to call your attention to a thought that whatever I'm telling you here today is my truth. So anything that does not resonate with you, that is not your truth. And it is okay, because we all have our filters, our understandings and perceptions on what truth might be. My observation is that it is always good to follow our good feelings, and whatever feels good for us and resonates with us, that is our truth. Whatever does not, then keep it as an information just to observe. So personal stories in the truth comes from, or how it is built. Your truth will be, your personal truth will be defined by your appearance, your gender, the culture you are born into, the customs your family, your nation has, or the values, what you encounter growing up, the language what you speak, then the family members, how they see you, how they see the world, how they interact with others, how then when you encounter more people growing up, the extended family, the neighbors, the teachers, the peers, supervisors, etc. All these people, through interacting with them, will define how you think about things, how you feel about things, what kind of emotions you have, and what you are going to believe either about yourself, the way you appear in the eyes of others. Then slowly becoming more aware of yourself, you will be able to define your truth with regard to who you are as a person or how you see the world around. The outer truth is a very tricky question. I chose this picture on purpose. The outer truth. The picture was chosen because it shows you, based on the material world, two ways how we are our position in it. This is a couple, a human couple. And if we go inside within the human body, we can see how a cell is, how our DNA chain is, how atoms are, and we go deeper into quark levels and whatever is after. But we can observe that everything here is vibrating and is made of energy. And if we look outside of our body, of course, everything which accompanies us on Earth, Mother Earth, then our solar system, then our galaxy and all the other galaxies and worlds, all those things are surrounding us from outside. But these are all the material-based approaches to see what is inside and what is outside. Scientifically, we can say that fractals appear in material level, which means similarity in forms and shapes. And if we open our mind and expand a bit to the level of universal consciousness, which you can call different names like source energy, light, God, creation, everything, all that is, according to my personal understanding and perception, includes everything what we can see here. And the word itself, self, is again an interesting one, because the person with its own self is a kind of reflection of many other things in different forms. So self-similarity appears in different forms and levels through the variation of energy appearance, let's say so. And I wouldn't go more into this because it is such an open subject that I don't dare to share more aspects of mine, because I think it's personal to discover. Self-observation, as I mentioned at the beginning, is very important. Why? Until I don't know what's going on inside my system, and my system means what is going on in my head as thoughts, and what is going on in my, let's say so, heart as emotions, how I feel, then how I react to different kind of events, situations, or people, then I'm on autopilot. I'm just going, following some programs within. But when I start to observe myself, then I will have, let's say so, a visual on that. Oh, this is a repetition, what I'm observing here. I'm doing the same within this relationship that I've done within the previous one, or in the second one, or whenever. Or when you are talking to someone and you can see that, oh, I'm repeating the same words practically, and the situation is very similar to a previous one, then I'm able to to understand that something is going on here. And when I observe these similarities, I will have the opportunity to stop and make a change and choose a different way, either to react, to have a different thought, and based on those thoughts to develop a different feeling. It is also interesting or important to have questions, to question what is going around within me and out there. Because what is true for me might not be true for you. And another question is, whose truth is it I believe to be mine? Is it the truth of my father, of my mother, or of that nation? Or do I want to prove something for others and it serves me? If something I consider to be true because it is for my survival, then you can tell me anything, that will be my truth. Even if you put hundreds of proof in front of me, if I believe that this thing, what I believe serves my survival, that will be true for me. Also, sometimes it is good to reflect on why do we accept information provided to be as true? Is it because of religion, of respect? Or is it maybe because I fear something? Something might happen to me, to my loved ones, if I express my own truth? So why do I accept something which is being taught as true if I have a different feeling or observation about it? So I think self-observation is a must to become more self-aware, to have more options, to choose and make a change in our reactions. What you think, you become. Your awareness level is your own truth. Your awareness level is your own truth, which means for me, the way you see yourself, the information, what you have obtained about what is going on around you, what is going on with you, that is your own truth. That is your own truth. So what you think, that you become. So information through matter gives you knowledge about matter. And through cognition, through thinking, you make your own conclusions. What you feel, you attract, in my understanding, means that information through source energy, like intuition, you know, that gut feeling which comes to you, front of, that is your inner truth. But when we start to think and start to produce some logical explanations why to follow it or why not, then we are more thinking and trying to convince ourselves of something or against it. Having clarity and trust in what you feel, but in those feelings which are clear and not fear-based, can help you to have a more trustful connection to your truth. And what you imagine that you create, in my understanding, according to my understanding, means that whatever you think, whatever you feel, based on that, you will imagine events, you will imagine a future, you will have your plans, and understanding that you have the power and you have choice to choose where to put your focus and what to have as your truth, gives you more options to manifest according to your highest and best, what serves you the best. Acceptance and letting go, I put here, because with understanding comes acceptance, and why it is important. Because if I understand the other person's truth, it doesn't mean that I will follow that person's truth, but I understand. With understanding comes acceptance. And acceptance allows us letting go, means letting the other person to be who the person is, without trying to convince, without judging, without proving, just being. And we have the choice to either to work with that situation, that person, or not to, which is based on self free will and decision, with which responsibility comes. So you are responsible for your truth, and your awareness level is your own truth. And I was just, yeah, practically that would be the presentation about truth, but I would add one more observation that I realized existed due to my father, when he was talking about some past events when I was a child and he was there, and his memories about a given moment. He was talking about his truth, how that moment took place, what was happening there. And I didn't remember anything of that. And he was furious that I could not remember those events. They were so important for him. So in his reality, that event existed and it was true for him. But as far as that specific event, for whatever reason, was not important for me, I don't have a memory of those things he mentioned taking place. What does it mean? It means that this very present moment is true. This is reality. Everything else is just memory. Is a memory of something what took place. But what took place exactly in that very moment, nobody knows, because all those who participated in that event will have a totally different way of understanding it, a different focus, a different perception and understanding. So that is what I wanted to share about truth today. And remember that your truth, your thoughts and feelings define your reality. And you have the power and the free will to make your personal own choice what to manifest. I would stop sharing.